Welcome back, and today I am here to talk about Chelsea. Chelsea, Graham Potter, Clear Lake, and Todd Boehly consortium. A report card 6 months on. So I've got plenty of points to talk about. So let's straight away get into it. सबसे पहली चीज, the current position. It is not a very flowery position for any person, any fan, manager, owner, whoever it is. But what I understand is sitting at the number 10 position with plus one goal difference, tied on points with Liverpool, equal position from the last to the first, 10-point difference. But you have to give it out to, you have to have a heart for Graham Potter, the way he's been introduced into the team just after 4 games. Brighton were flying, and I think so he would have loved to stay there because he had built that team the way he wanted them to perform. Number 2, what I am very interested to talk about, and the thing is, especially staying with the first point itself, it is not a jack and a beanstalk story that somebody gives you a beanstalk and you go and you've got a huge plant growing next day in your backyard. Football doesn't work like that. It's been more than 2.5 decades. Me and sister both have been watching the game, and this is my clear understanding that, boss, no matter what, no matter who, no matter when, no matter where, but when you have such kind of a situation where there is ownership transfer and that ownership doesn't know jack about football but has been a decent owner, I feel that it should do wonders. And this is not now that the current position we are in is to be blamed solely on Graham Potter or Todd Boehly consortium or the players. The team was on a decline, to be very honest, in the past year or so. If you look at it, in the last 25, 30 odd games, in which Thomas Tuchel was a part of, he lost majority of those games, and yet we hail him because he won us the Champions League. And he came in the middle of a crisis situation. He handled us through a crisis situation. So there is a lot of positives there, but there also have to be looked at certain false positives. And what are false positives with those things? It is like those smoke bombs which come in front of you. You cannot see anything, but then at the back there is a lot of movement which is happening, and that is something which I felt with Thomas Tuchel. I've never been in favor, and all my life I've never been in favor of firing managers, never been in favor of player power. No player is bigger than the club. Every manager is the person, or as to say, the head coach these days, the new term, is the person who calls the shots, along with obviously the people who are hiring players in conversation with the manager. So keeping all of those things in account, I believe fine. Okay, Thomas Tuchel was not given that much amount of time to get used to the Clear Lake and Todd Boehly, but I think so the vibes also gave it away, and I will not blame TT for it. He was sacked. It is the game, name of the game right now. That is one thing. And in the position which Graham Potter is, I'll not blame him either. The team is full of injuries, full of problems. He's trying to rectify it. If you have a broken pipe, you stick tape to it, but it's going to be a stopgap affair, and that is what is happening. It's a stopgap affair. You've got an aging squad. You've got a squad which is full of injuries. You cannot expect him to get results after results after results, and that too after a 2-month break in which half of your team has not been there since the beginning of September, October. And then you break off for the World Cup, and still they've not been able to recover. And once they come back again, they fall injured. Who I think for the medical team is to be equally blamed for it. It's not just the manager. Yes, the medical team has been changed 4 months ago. The people, the players who had the confidant in the medical team, none of them are there. There's a new team. They have to break new bridges. The players have to be very careful what they have to talk about or not talk about, which is a very ginger area for a player. Where should they be massaged more? Where should they be massaged less? How much ice bath? How much training? How physicality? All of those things the medical staff has to look out. Are they prone to any allergies? So, but this current medical team maybe or maybe not, are obviously they are very talented professionals, but then they are still to get versed with all the players. And also a big thing is that the addition of new players, the players are not able to gel so much. So I feel there is a lot of plethora of reasons why Chelsea is not doing too well. But on a broader picture, these things will take time to fall in place. For people calling out the head for Graham Potter, for Christ's sake, give him time now. He is the man to lead you forward. There's no Tuchel, there's no Mourinho, there's no Robbie Di Matteo, there's no right now obviously Antonio Conte. There's no Conte. You cannot no Zidane's, no Ancelotti's. Nobody's going to come and save your club. They're all there to do their work. And I believe if you give Graham Potter enough time, he is going to turn the tide for the club. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be 10 days down the line, might not be 6 months. But a year from now, he is going to turn the tide for everybody in this club. He's going to run that team like a well-oiled machine, and we've seen sparks of it happening. So just that spark has to turn into a good, long, big bushfire, and it is going to turn the fortunes of this club. And we know what Chelsea is capable of. We all know that. But that is what it is. The second thing which I am very, very concerned is about the transfers, the kind of transfers which Chelsea has done. 400 million in 6 months. Man, that is mad. But I believe that there are certain stopgap affairs. João Felix is a Dennis Zakaria, was a Aubameyangs. So these are all stopgaps which I feel. The people who I feel Mudryk slightly overpaid for. João Felix, the loan is overpaid for. Batshuayi, I don't know, I've not seen him so much. Just a good, I believe there's been raving praises out there. So there is potential in this team. A young team coming out, under 21s being signed, so that the club structure and the academies can be now pushed. The same machine can be reignited. So there's a lot of things that is happening, but 400 million in 6 months is slightly too much. I feel it's slightly too much. And I always endorse somebody who does a mistake. If they accept it, it is a good thing. They know that, okay, fine, I've done that mistake, I'll not repeat it. And I believe Todd Boehly, Iqbali and the Clear Lake Capitals have accepted they jumped in too much. They did about 250 million plus 8 players being bought in. That was way too much. Now they understand it, and we have seen that aspect in Lisandro Martinez's transfer. Whereas Benfica was asking for 120 million, they said nothing to him, 85 tops. And they walked out of that deal. Maybe they'll go back, maybe they'll not. Only time will tell. But then that shows now they are in the right headspace. The right players at the right price, at the right time are the good players to be bought. So that way I feel they're going to be doing good. They have to obviously understand this is not the MLB. This is not the NFL. It's not Moneyball where you want people on the bases. There's no bases over here. You either bench, you're on the team or on the field. So those things have to be ironed out, and Boehly has to get his head out of the sand and say, okay, fine, this is 100, this is that, and that is that. He cannot do it. His concentration now has to be on the global product of Chelsea, how he does it, how his team does it, and how this funneling or the decision making comes down to. For somebody or a player manager, a player's agent, if they have to approach, they obviously will not go through 10 people. They'll obviously want, they all know Todd Boehly or Iqbali are the people who's going to be the decision makers, primarily Todd Boehly. So they will obviously try and approach him directly rather than going through Vivel and the directors of football and Jack. They don't need them. So many players at different positions. they're going to just complicate situations until unless there is more role defining things happening. I feel that once that is done, it is going to do well. It is going to do well. And the biggest of all, the injury crisis has not done with justice to Graham Potter or put in the Todd Boehly consortium in the greatest of lights. All I have to say right now is, for the people asking for Graham Potter's head, is give it time. He is going to be there. He is going to take us there. Give him a little more time. We've always wanted that Roman gave the manager time. Now we've got the owners who are ready to give the manager time. Now you're saying the manager is not right. Overnight success cannot be achieved. Cannot be achieved. It's never been achieved. You look at Sir Alex Ferguson, look at Arsene Wenger, you look at Jose Mourinho as well, you look at Ancelotti as well in his whole career, look at Zidane, look at Pep Guardiola. Fine, overnight successes are never guaranteed. So all I am saying and requesting Chelsea fans to just give Graham Potter a little time. And for Todd Boehly and consortium, my thing, and I as a fan, I look at the future. I feel the future is going to be bright only if the right steps are taken at the right time. Right now, it is all haphazard. Things have to be ironed out. And for the 6-month report card, as I said at the beginning, this 6-month report card is giving you a D-. Obviously, you can do better, but a D- right now. We'll do a report card at the end of the year and see how have you guys done. So on that note, do like, share, subscribe, enable those notifications, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.